Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're joining us from. This is Candace, and I welcome all of you this evening to the MLM Blog Secrets Q&A webinar with Ty. We do have Ann joining us also this evening, and she will be making some announcements at the end of the call, so I want to make sure that you hang around when we get towards the end, because she has a few things she does want to share with you. I wanted to take care of just a little bit of housekeeping here. First of all, Ty will be answering questions that have been submitted through the registration forms and some other ones that we've been getting through our support desk, and he'll be going through those, and if we have some time, we'll answer some additional questions that are through our panel. I don't want to go too long into the call with different things here, and I want to get Ty on board so he can get some of your questions answered. We're very excited that you've joined us. Ty, are you here?
I'm here, Candace, and I see the picture as I'm surrounded by two lovely ladies. That's a great way to start the webinar there.
This is Ann, and Ty, I'm going to pass the controls over to you, and actually more so even make you presenter. Are you ready on your end?
Excellent, I am ready.
All righty, here we go.
All right, well, let's dig into this. Thank you so much, Ann and Candace. I appreciate all you do, and I want to just make it very clear that there's a group of people behind the scenes at the Renegade Network Marketer that are incredible professionals. This process of getting MLM blog secrets and MLM blog code out into the marketplace would have never been possible without their hard work, and so you know who you are. I appreciate you very much, and let me dig in. I'm going to go through a list of questions, and as we go through these questions, if you've got one, feel free to get that over to Candace. Candace, do they have what's the best way to do that? They can do that right through the GoToMeeting, or is there a better way to get you a question?
Right, in the right-hand panel in the sidebar, there is a question and answer box if they want to just submit those as they think of those, and if we can answer them, or maybe you'll answer them in the process of tonight's webinar, but as they think of them, they can just submit them there, and I'll be able to see them and get them to you.
Awesome. I will do my best to get through as many questions as we can tonight, but let me also say this, that what I'm going to do, since everyone on this call, if you were on the previous call where we kind of did the critiques of 5 different blogs, I'm going to kind of do this, again, as if I'm looking through the lens of MLM blog code. All of you are going to have access to MLM blog secrets already, or you should have access to that, and if you're on this webinar, you've already made that purchase. So I'm going to look at these questions hopefully kind of through the lens of MLM blog code, because I know not everyone has picked up that product. So there's some information in there that maybe you don't have yet. But before I get into the question, let me say this. I'm going to give you maybe a tip that might help you better go through MLM blog code and MLM blog secrets. And that is, my suggestion would be, go through and watch all of the training videos in both products before you launch your blog. I think a lot of the questions will get answered in MLM blog secrets and MLM blog code if you go through the process. Now, some of the questions are technical in nature, and we're going to do our best to get through some of those, but some people use different lead capture pages, use different forms and HTML editors and things of that nature, and we'll do our best to maybe hit on those, but the reality is we don't know how some of those things affect your blog. So let's get to the first question here, and it is, how do you make sure you avoid promoting someone else's site over your own when you use socially proven content? Are there some guidelines? Thanks, cheers, Frank. Well, Frank, here's the thing. You don't. You don't avoid promoting someone else's content because you're using their content, right? And here is a great example. I'm at TyTribble.com, and this is a great example of socially proven content. And the reason I'm so excited about this is that this post right here gets a tremendous amount of traffic. Now, here's what's exciting to me about that, obviously. It's not even my content, really. So 7 ways to check your Facebook without going to Facebook.com. It came from Social Mouths, which is a great blog, by the way. And basically, again, the process is, what do I say? Comment them. You know, give a sincere compliment. And so I say Social Mouths is one of my new must-read sites for 2010. Here is a post detailing 7 different ways to check your Facebook, right? And then I say this article includes some other stuff. You might have to check that one out anyway. So just a little bit of information, but this gets a massive amount of traffic, and it's because people are searching for checking Facebook without actually going to Facebook. Interesting. Now, do I care if people come on here and click on Social Mouths or click on here? No, I want them to. I absolutely want them to. But but before they do, they found my site, and they would have never found my site otherwise, in all likelihood. So this is, to think that I should avoid promoting someone else's site. It's exactly the opposite. I should be promoting that site because, again, I would never get that traffic having without that socially proven or other people's content. Now, if you look on the side panel here, if my offer makes sense to them, if my offer is within their niche, if I'm posting content that is within my niche, and so that I have people that and my offer gives them something of value, something of significance, something that begins to build trust, then there's a good chance they're going to opt in. If I don't get them now, maybe I'll get them next time. Maybe they thought, oh, you know what, this guy's blog looks good. And here's another thing that is, I don't think this was mentioned in MLM Blog Code or MLM Blog Secrets, and that is you might also like, this is something called Link Within. And the reason I like this one, it puts actually cool pictures to go along with. I used to use one that just listed related posts. This is basically a related posts widget, and it's called Link Within. And this is cool because it actually gives people additional things to read. So what I found also going through Google Analytics is that this post is fairly sticky. So there's no way, I think people are at the site that come through this particular link are there for sometimes up to 4 or 5 minutes. So what that tells me is that, yes, I got them in the door with other people's content, but they're staying on here. They're clicking around. They're looking at different things. There's no way they would take 4 or 5 minutes just to read this. So they're actually, that content is very effective. I want to go down here and show you one other thing. I mentioned that I sometimes get people to comment that I had previously, that who I wrote the blog post about. In other words, the guy from Social Mouths. And remember I said back, I think it's in the MLM Blog Secrets, that, hey, here's, or it may be a lot in the promotion. And some people think, oh, that's good salesmanship. It wasn't salesmanship at all. What we're saying is, hey, this is a simple way to get content on your blog, even if you're a lousy writer, and it's so effective that even the person that you posted the information from their blog might thank you for it. Well, here's proof. Here's Francisco, who's a great guy, by the way, who runs Social Mouths, and he said, hey, Ty, thanks for the mention link. and then, following you on Twitter now, by the way. So I've just connected with this guy based on posting his content, which gets me a tremendous amount of traffic, which is really a pretty cool method to the madness as we put that whole thing together. So if that makes sense, Candace, anything related to that coming in yet?
No, that is wonderful, Ty. Not anything related to that at this time.
All right, excellent. Let's go on to another question here. It says, Ty, I watched the webinar the other night. I have thematic as my theme. Is there a way to make the header less white in it, or add an image to the right to make it less conspicuous? Here's my blog. Okay, so many of you have got thematic up and running. It is a very, probably the best way to say it is, it's a little bit boring, but it's boring for a very particular reason. It's boring because we want to drive eyes to your offer. We talked about that a lot in the previous call. Now, it's the other thing, the other main reason why I chose thematic was because it doesn't mess with your coding in the side panel as much as some of the other sites do. And as a matter of fact, now, Candace, real quick, did you have a bit of a solution to that issue that we talked about the other day? You mentioned it in an email the other day.
About a quick solution for the arrows in the sidebar in the widget?
Yes, exactly.
Actually, it's a handy little trick, and it may be more complicated than I can verbally teach here. But basically, you go and create a fake post, and then you make it look the way you want it to look in your sidebar as a post, and then you go over to the HTML and you grab the HTML and then you stick it in the text widget.
Oh, that is an interesting, I've done that in other areas, but that is a great point. And so, but back to thematic really quick, and thank you so much, Candace. You're so great. Back to thematic for a second. The reason I picked it is it wouldn't mess with your sidebar widgets. It was a simple theme with a lot of white space. So someone's complaining, I'm not saying they're complaining about the white space, but that's the thing. It was picked that way for a reason, so it doesn't take away from where you're trying to drive people to, which is building your list. This is all about building your list, and we'll get into that in another question, but that's the key. We don't want people to get distracted by stuff. We want people to have enough white space so that they're drawn to your offer. Now, MLM Blog Code, in one of the bonuses, I talk about this concept called going pro. And in there, I give a couple of places where you could potentially get ebook covers created, such as this. MLM Web Secrets is an ebook cover that I created. You can get opt-in forms created, custom. You can get headers created, custom. I give you 3 different options for paid themes, and so the concept there is okay, you got your blog under control, you're ready to go pro, you're ready to upgrade. And the reason I chose a free theme is that, hey, you know what, let's get you up and running, because the reality is that in many cases the ugliest blog in the world can outperform the one that someone paid $250, $300, $500 to create, if they simply follow what is given in MLM Blog Secrets and MLM Blog Code, because it's really based around the content and then capturing those people that come to the site. So my short answer is there might be a way to adjust thematic to put a header up there, but the reality is that that's really meant for not as much for MLM Blog Secrets, but more for MLM Blog Code. Now, you can always go in the back office of your. It's so much easier today, by the way, than it was just several months ago. Even you can go in the back office of WordPress and go to themes, and you can upload as many different themes as you want and activate them and see what they look like. No one is one thing. As far as I know. Now, again, I've been blogging for 7 years. I've been specifically on WordPress for a number of years. I don't think you can make a mistake by activating a theme, and as long as you keep, if you don't make any changes, and then you go back to your other theme. So you can play around with different themes and see what you like. Again, if you were not on last night's or 2 nights ago, the critique call, I would highly recommend that you stick with some neutral colors. If you didn't see the critique call, go back and I really talk about some of the psychology behind kind of staying simple and things like that. And if you look at my own blog, I get a tremendous number of leads from this blog on a regular basis, and it's pretty darn simple. In other words, it's not too complicated. And I've got some other tricks up my sleeve. I like to get my face on here a little bit more so people know who they're talking to. But actually, if you go to the front page of this blog, there I am. So hopefully that answers that question. You can add an image, yes, but my recommendation is that pick up MLM Blog Code and then take it to the next level where you're really going pro. Okay, so how are we doing, Candace? Good?
We're doing good. We do have, I think people are getting a little confused because we've got a lot of questions about, using this theme or that theme, or which one's better, which one's more optimized. And could you address the whole issue of, I mean, you've kind of talked about that, about, the theme thing in general.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Now, some themes, the vast majority of themes today, let me back up. The WordPress, the new version of WordPress, the 3.0 version, is really pretty well optimized for SEO. Still have to write, still have to follow the search engine optimization things that we teach in MLM blog code. By the way, I mean, I literally in MLM blog code, I don't know if I mentioned this before, I go through a format that I've used to land in the top 10 on Google dozens of times. And this is invaluable. I mean, because think about it. What if someone came out with a product like ANSIG or even something like MLM blog code, and you were in the top 10, think about the sheer number of sales that you could get if you used what you know about SEO or what's taught in MLM blog code about SEO to land on the top 10. I mean, this is exactly how I created massive numbers of leads, and then people downloading the Renegade Network Marketer and the 7 Great Lies for me, because I was in the top 3 on Google for some time. Now Google makes changes constantly, so I'm not going to say I'm in the top 3 currently right this second, but for a long time I was, and I'm sure I'm not far from it. But it's something that to really think about. So what I'm trying to say is, for the most part, currently, was not the case a few months ago. WordPress pretty much handles the SEO in terms of optimizing the whole entire site as a whole. Previously, there were some themes that were a lot better than others. Now, there's also some plugins that I've recommended. I think those are in the cheat sheet on MLM Blog Secrets that you can download that are related to SEO as well too. And if you follow those, it's going to get you some better results. The main issue when it comes to SEO has to do with MLM blog code and what's taught there in that section. However, mentioning that, the main purpose of your blog is to build your list. And so, a lot of people are thinking, well, I really love the look, and I think I'm repeating myself a little bit from last night, but I think it's important to say. A lot of people say, I really love the look of this lime green font on a black canvas, on a black background. And I got to tell you that I don't care what you love, you're going to kill your readers. They'll be on there for 30 seconds and they'll be gone. No matter how great your content is, you're taking away from your content because it's virtually unreadable. And so that's why I would stick to neutral colors. I give 3. I mean, here's the bottom line. If you're getting to the point where you want to look more professional, pick up MLM blog code, and in the bonus section, I give 3 sources for paid blogs, platforms, themes, and all 3 of those are amazing. As a matter of fact, you're looking at one of them, if I'm not mistaken, which is we'll give one away for free. How's that? Page Lines, which is excellent. And I mean, this is so professional. Just looks great. A lot of different options. You can see that we've included Twitter here. A lot of the social media stuff is already included. It just is a professional looking. I love a clean site where you're accomplishing what you're supposed to accomplish. And so hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, if you're getting to the point where you feel like you've outgrown thematic or another free theme, pick up MLM blog code and you're going to get my philosophy behind these different the whole concept of going pro as well, if that makes sense. How are we doing, Candace? Does that you think that answers the majority of those kinds of questions?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. I have a question for the webinar this evening. I didn't notice the question from last week when I registered. Question. Here we go. I have no blog yet. My network marketing company sells a product that is of interest to active people. I'm starting to train for a 5K and then eventually 2 years down the road a half marathon. This is after 30 years of little to no exercise. Number one, congratulations for that. My idea for the blog is to be about my journey in order to attract people to my company product. Is this a good idea? The title of my blog, Running Over the Hill. Everyone seems to actually blog about how to do attraction marketing. So I'm wondering if taking this route is wise. Okay. Hopefully you've, I know I get into this probably a little bit more in MLM Blog Code than I did in MLM Blog Secrets, and I know that some people on this call have not got to that level. So that's cool. I'm not trying to force you to pick up MLM Blog Code, although I think there's content in there that is amazing. It starts with your passion, okay? Because I think there's enough people reading blogs on this planet, right? I think the average person who goes online, whether they know it or not, read an average of something like 3.4 blogs a day. So if that's the case, that means there's people searching for stuff all the time. There's people within your niche. I assume it would make common sense that there were people that did not exercise and stay healthy for the vast, for a portion of their life, and then they began to do so. Now, I frankly would not limit your niche to here's what I do to prepare to run a half marathon or a 5K, okay? I think that's probably limiting your niche a little bit. But I think that the reality is that inside of your niche and the reality of all of that was described in that question, it really comes back to their business. Now, obviously, their business relates to health and wellness, but it might also relate to attraction marketing. I don't think those two have to be on separate blogs. Matter of fact, I think one of the questions I had, I can't recall if someone contacted me through my email or Facebook or wherever the case may be, was about multiple blogs. And my recommendation would be, don't do it. I mean, I've got into the craziness of trying to run multiple blogs, and you get good at building one blog, and that was just such a fun experience. You think, oh, I've got another idea. I'm going to build another one. Of course, my ADD, I've got probably dead blogs scattered across the internet. And here's the thing: if you do what I teach you, which is make the blog your name, then kind of whatever you're writing about, as long as it's pretty much within that wheelhouse of your business, and if your business is related to health and wellness, I don't think you have to bounce around too much and create other blogs in order to do that. Think of what your passion is. I did that running a passion tournament and trying to figure out what the things are that are important to you. We kind of talked about that previously, and that might be a great subject for a webinar in the future. But anyways, figure out what your passion is, dive into that, think about whether or not that other people have that same passion. I mean, if your passion is I like to walk barefoot in let's see, in the Antarctica and look for special types of edible flowers, then I'm going to suggest I don't know where that came from. I'm going to suggest that that's probably not too niche of a niche, right? It's a little bit too tight. So broaden that out a little bit. But if your niche is your business and there's some health aspects to it and learning how to market, the reason why so many people are writing about attraction marketing is it's something that a lot of people are interested in. And frankly, here's the biggest problem. The people don't know where to start. Now, see, you on this call know exactly where to start, and it starts at the home base. Again, nobody goes to second base with the baseball bat in their hand and goes to bat. You've got to start at home, and your home is your own WordPress blog that you can then work from. We were talking on the phone with Ann just this afternoon about blogging and some of the other areas that are somewhat associated with blogging and some of the training, and I described it as, you know, Twitter and Facebook are kind of like satellites out there. They're not the home base, right? They're not planet Earth. They're rotating around your home planet, right? And that's what's so vital. People, we've got to start somewhere, and there's no better place, especially in today's climate, given the Google slaps with pay-per-click, given people getting shut down on YouTube. You know, I know a guy that got clobbered by Facebook. You know, who knows what changes will come in Twitter in the next 6 to 12 months. I suspect that some things will. I mean, we've got to control our own destiny. You've got to have your home base online. So hopefully that makes sense. I just want to make sure that I answered that question clearly. Start with your passion, and you know, it's kind of the art form is this too broad or is it not broad enough? The answer to that will be test it. You know, go to Twitter as I described, and you know, start to see if you can find some people in your local marketplace that have that same niche, that are talking about the same thing. If there's none, then you probably are in the wrong niche. Hopefully that makes sense. How are we doing, Candace?
We're doing great, and kind of on that theme, where we've gotten a couple of questions where people are saying, so if they have, let's say they are in a network marketing company, or they have a personal business, plus they're an affiliate for something, plus maybe they have an interest in something, a passion somewhere that's not related to their company, their product, or whatever. Should they use a separate blog for those because they're different topics, or should they use separate pages on the same blog?
That's a great question. If someone has a, let's say for example, I was parked next to someone when I was picking up my wife and daughter today who just got back from Europe, and I'm just the happiest dad and husband in the world because my girls are back home. The difference in the house is incredible. Although my son and I did clean up and did a few loads of laundry and a couple dishwasher runs, and the house looked great when they got home. So that was probably a feather in Daddy-O's cap. But here's the thing. I think that if, for example, like I said, I was parked next to a truck who I think was a home inspection business. If your idea is to combine home inspection and your network marketing company and attraction marketing, and maybe it's in the health and wellness arena, it doesn't have to be, whatever the case may be. It could be travel, could be anything. I would say that that's probably a good place to build a separate blog. Here's the thing. If your business has to, if you need a web presence, there's no easier way in the world than a WordPress site. Would I create multiple blogs related to me as an internet marketer and network marketer? No. If I had a separate business, carpet cleaning, whatever the case may be, home inspections, you know, cell phones, whatever the case may be, I would definitely create a separate a blog. Now, you know, pages, and let me hit this idea of pages real quick. There's an area of MLM blog code that has something that is really never, from what I've seen, it's never been covered. Certainly not in network marketing circles, and it's really rarely covered out there otherwise. And it's called pillar content or flagship content. And there's an offshoot to this that is frankly amazing, and you can use this when a new product launches or something along those lines, and you want to get some search engine optimization, you want to rank fairly high in Google. Part of ranking fairly high starts with the consistency factor of blogging on a regular basis, as we all know. The other piece of the puzzle is linking in, which we talk about in MLM blog code, where I talk about this concept called repurposing your content. And one of the things I talk about is, you could actually take a blog post and create a video out of it. So you create a PowerPoint video with the highlights of your blog post and talk over it, and then bam, you've got a YouTube video, maybe a 2-3 minute YouTube video utilizing the same content. I'm a big believer in less work for more return. And if you create a great blog post, a great piece of content, why not repurpose it and put it out on YouTube as well? My point there is that brings in another link from another site. And so, but when you take all the things that I teach in there, the SEO factor, where I teach you how to SEO a blog post or a page, combined with, let's say Ann let's say Ann launches something new in the next year, something that, things change so rapidly that she goes, oh my gosh, my folks need to know about this. Well, let's say she puts together a product or something along those lines, and you're an affiliate. You want to take advantage of people who are searching for that product. And believe me, if ANSI comes out with something, people will search. You could take this idea of pillar content. I mean, you could take it and build it around Ann herself. So maybe one of your pages is Ann Sieg, or Ann Sieg, the Renegade Network Marketer. And if you SEO'd that page, I'm telling you, there's a good chance that you're going to get picked up on Google. Now, to think you're going to get listed in the first day on Ann Sieg or Mike Dillard or Ty Triple or something like that, of people who have been around a long time, that's a different story. But I can tell you that, I mean, I've done this. I did this with a guy who came out with a new product, and I literally, Jonathan Budd, for example, I literally landed at in the number 2 spot for Jonathan Budd for a period of time. And it was great because he was just launching something, and I had written about him, and bam, that's the power of blogging. I was, for several weeks, I was right there. Number 2, ahead of his own site. Now, his blog was number 1, but his own other site was below the blog post that I wrote about it. And that's just the sheer power of MLM blogging done right. But this idea of creating, this pillar content, it's stuff that a blog post, you do your research, maybe do some keyword research and things like that, which I also talk about in code. And then you write about it, and typically 100, 250 words, 300 words max, but a pillar piece of content could be a little bit longer. You go into more depth, things of that nature. It's something that's not updated on a regular basis. It's more of a page that's there continuously. Now, here's the cool thing about it, is that when you talk about that topic throughout your blog, throughout your other pieces of content across the internet, you link back. And so you can potentially build something that can be great for the very, very long term. And that's this idea of pillar content, which would relate back to pages, which kind of gets into the next question, Candace, and unless you've got something, I'll jump on this one.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, so hello, Ann and Ty. Have heard that Ty is involved in a network marketing company and also involved in his own marketing products, along with being involved with Ann Sieg's affiliate program. All true. I'm also with a network marketing program, but want to become much more involved with Ann's affiliate program and her system. Smart. Can a person integrate everything, network marketing opportunity, Ann's affiliate program, plus my own products I may develop later, into one blog, Facebook, Twitter, etc.? Or should a person have a separate blog, website, Facebook, Twitter for each area? From the looks of Ty's blog, it appears he's everything in one blog, plus many other capture pages he connects to. Would appreciate a clarification. Thank you, Sharon Kramer. Thank you for the question, Sharon. Let's start at the top. I think that maybe getting inside my head a little bit from a psychological standpoint may help you understand why I do what I do. Everything I do online, every single thing, is a method of in other words, there's a method to the madness. I'm always got my network marketing business at the forefront of everything I've done. God bless Ann. God bless Mike Dillard. They've put out some great products and things of that nature. But the reason, other than that I agreed with Ann's, like the 7 Great Lies and the Renegade system, I mean, I agreed with the books. Like I mentioned before, doesn't mean that every single network marketing company operates in that exact manner, but you know what? A lot of them do. Probably 98% of them do. And there's a lot of truth in there. So number one is I have to agree with the product. But my ulterior motive is I go, okay, this is a great piece of material. The Renegade and the 7 Great Lies, it's a great funnel. People are gonna be very excited. It's searched all over the place. Here was my philosophy in the very beginning, as simple as it may be. People are going to search for this, and when they download that 7 Great Lies, that's a lead. That's an email address. And I thought, that's a good thing. If they found it through me, that's a good thing. And then if they buy the Renegade Network Marketer from me, then I'm going to make a little bit of money that I can put back into advertising or take my family out to dinner, whatever the case may be. And if I showed you my back office to the Renegade system, I think you might be surprised at the number in my affiliate earnings to date is pretty substantial. But that's really secondary to creating those leads so that I can connect with those people, so that I can become a trusted advisor with those people, so that I can offer unique value to those people, and then sponsor them or as a business partner on my team, or maybe they might become a customer for my business. Here's something you gotta realize, and this blew me away. Ann Sieg did a study on her list. I think 3,000 people filled out a survey, and no less than 26% of the folks who filled out that survey did not have a network marketing company. They were not involved in network marketing. 26%. Now, there's probably a portion of those people who have another business and they're just plugged into the training because it's such good stuff, certainly. But I'd be willing to bet that there's a portion of those people who are on that list because they're looking for the right opportunity. They're looking for the right person to plug in with. They're looking for leadership. They're looking for a trusted advisor. Gang, that's everything I focused on. I do everything I do online, blogging, affiliate marketing, all funnels back to my network marketing opportunity. Period. Everything I do, because it's an amazing opportunity to create a residual income that's not solely reliant always on my efforts. Once you get 2-3 leaders in a team, in other words, a leader backed by a leader backed by a leader in one team, or one leg as we refer to it in the business, that's a pretty solid business. And I got to tell you that if I took a month off, the leader backed by a leader backed by a leader, there's a high likelihood that they wouldn't, which would mean that my income will continue to grow. And so that's an invaluable thing, in my opinion. I mean, it's always been my #1 goal is my network marketing business. I've had people say, I'm putting my network marketing business on hold so I can learn this blogging thing. And I would immediately say, stop. The great thing about learning, MLM blog code and MLM blog secrets is it's downloadable. It's all on your computer. When your prospects are sleeping, then you can go learn it. I mean, gang, this is something that is vitally important to realize. Your business is built based on relationships. And if there's the fundamental philosophy that you're going to go out and not connect with people through webinars like these, through maybe phone conversations, I can tell you for a fact, no way possible would I have ever promoted the Renegade Network Marketer if Ann hadn't called me and connected with me to the level that I did. No way possible. There's a personal relationship there. I can tell you it's the same thing with Mike Dillard, and so I'm telling you, this is something that is so missed when it comes to internet/network marketing. People tend to think that all of a sudden we can just forget the relationship side. In fact, it becomes even more vital. You've really got to connect with people. And then, but here's the great thing, gang. When you begin to create a massive number of leads in your business, this weight, this incredible weight will be lifted off of your shoulders. And you're going to, frankly, I believe you'll be more happy. you will be less stressed out. You'll have a little bit more of a hop, skip, and a jump in your step. And to the point where if you're standing in line at Starbucks and that person next to you looks pretty darn sharp and they have a high energy level, and there's someone, and you just take a look at them and you go, man, I would love to have that person in my business. Your likelihood of approaching that person goes up dramatically based on the fact, and your success level with approaching that person goes up dramatically because you're no longer desperate. You no longer have to, hop in your Ford Taurus and go to the mall. That's me. I was the one that hopped in the Ford Taurus to go to the mall to try to spear myself a winner. I mean, you saw the video, hopefully. And so I just got to tell you that when that weight lifts off your shoulders, when you begin to create all of these leads online, you're going to be sponsoring more people in your warm market and in your cold market than you could ever possibly imagine, because you're not desperate to sponsor them. You will attract them naturally because you're good at what you do, because maybe, and some of them may have particular interest in especially in getting involved in someone who knows how to build online as well. Oh, I did one of those things. Really? Did you do it, from the standpoint of creating leads online and utilizing social media and blogging and all the different aspects of that nature and creating an endless stream of leads on a daily basis so that you didn't have to really worry about relying on your friends and relatives for business? No, I actually did not build it that way. Well, then we should probably sit down and talk, right? I mean, I know I'm preaching the choir in some ways, but I think that a lot of that is so important to realize that again, the relationships are the core of everything. But the bottom line is it all funnels into my network marketing business, but it somewhat funnels through my list. So everything I do online is really working on building my list, which is where I then build a better relationship with people. Now, sometimes people find me directly through Facebook, which is great, or Twitter, or my blog, or something like that. But mostly, I begin to relate with people through my list. And here's a secret that I've never shared on a call. I have shared with a handful of key leaders and, of course, the people on my team. The number one email autoresponder that I send out, the number one most opened and most effective, in my opinion, is Joe. So, you use the thing where they automatically insert the person's first name. Where are you from? Or where are you from, comma, Joe or Jill? And that's the number one most responded to, most opened, best autoresponder subject line that I've ever used in my 7 years of online marketing. And just know from my point of view, if you're on my list and if you responded to it, I respond back. I may not respond back in 24 hours. I may not respond back in 48 hours. It may take me a week or two to respond back, but I always do, because I'm truly interested in getting to know you as a person and understanding where you're coming from. And believe me, and that's where that relationship really comes into play. But that's so can you do all of this? Absolutely. The purpose of all of it is to build my network marketing business. The great thing is you can earn some great income on the way there through Ann's program and other things out there, and maybe eventually creating your own products. But the sole purpose of everything I do online is to build my residual income through my network marketing company. I hope that makes sense. All right, Candace, how are we doing?
We're doing great.
Okay, so here's what I want to do. I'm going to hand it back to Ann here. I know she's got some incredible information to share, but before I do, let me do this. Some great questions have been coming up. If you have a handful of additional questions, I would be happy to answer a couple of more. If you would like, in other words, if you'd like to continue on with a couple more questions, do this. Type in please continue, or please stay, or let's go, or whatever the case may be, and if we get enough people to say let's continue on, we'll continue on for a couple of minutes, and then I'll hand it over to Ann. So what do you think, Candace? Are people wanting to ask a couple more questions, or should we pass it over to Ann?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh yeah, people are saying please go on a little longer. Please stay, encore, please. They're enjoying what you're saying.
Well, I appreciate that, and it's certainly a pleasure and an honor. Let me hit this real quick. You know, so many people went through MLM Blog Secrets, and they're so excited to get it that they may not have gotten or had an understanding of really what was in MLM Blog Code. And here's probably the thing that is most, how I kind of talked about the whole idea of building that list and tying everything in. You know, the secret in MLM Blog Secrets and MLM Blog Code is it's really even much more than blogging. I think that most people would think, oh, I'm going to get my blog up and running, and that's great. But people don't know that I teach exactly what to do with Twitter on MLM Blog Secrets, and effectively utilize Twitter. A lot of people don't, you know, they're putting stuff on Twitter on a continual basis. They just don't understand what they're doing, and or it's not effective at all, and they're continually pitching everybody. Man, I'm telling you, if you utilize Twitter effectively, the #1 referrer to my blog here, TyTriple.com, is Twitter. And it's because I put quality information up there. Sometimes I put it from my blog. You know, here's the thing: if you don't have a ton of stuff on your blog yet, tweet someone else's. But just get people that you're tweeting in the habit of seeing what else you've got. This gets back to this concept of becoming a trusted advisor. Well, a trusted advisor doesn't just send people to their own material. A trusted advisor, if they find material at other sites, boom, they'll send them there too. And over a period of time, it's the same thing with breaking down the list. I really tie in MLM Blog Code. I really tie Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, your blog, socially proven content, your own content in with your list, and I teach you how to develop this perpetual moving machine that will spit out leads if you follow it, which is a total, I mean, it's an incredible thing to do. And then, you know, probably one of my favorite modules in MLM Blog Code is SEO, repurposing content, and search engine, I already said search engine optimization. Repurposing content, search engine optimization, and keyword research. And we put so much content and value into one module. With those 3 things, I really could have stretched out that, you know, and made additional ones, but we had other things we wanted to get to as well too, and that's a really fun one, because we teach, you know, you've refined your niche, you know where you're heading, you find some keywords that are pulling on Google, and you know it's going to get some traffic if you can land in the top 10, and then you search engine optimize that particular content, and then you repurpose that content across the internet with links back to it. This is a virtual traffic machine that is absolutely incredible, and and a ton of fun. So any other questions in there, Candace, we can hit?
Actually, yes, we've got lots of people that we can probably touch on here.
All right.
One gentleman is asking, would it benefit if we backlinking to other people's sites? I'm assuming he means sites or content and things like that. Is that of benefit to them?
Yeah, I mean, it is, definitely. Most of the time in the comment section, a lot of them are called no-follow links. So if you post a link on my blog in the comment section, it's not going to get any Google juice. Excuse me. But if you link back to someone, it's certainly beneficial to them. And that's the beauty of the whole. That's why people are happy when I posted their content. So it's socially proven content, but I'm drafting off of their traffic. I'm ethically stealing their traffic. And so the benefit to them is I always link back, always link back. You know, it goes back to that first question. How do I avoid, having people, whatever, go to the other person's site? And the answer is you don't. You don't. You promote great material, and you know what? It will come back to you 100 times fold. I mean, here's the reality. If you don't know what to write, and you ethically steal someone else's material, by golly, you better link back to them. It better be beneficial to them as well, too. So hope that makes sense.
Absolutely. And we have a young lady that's asking, why is WordPress, in your opinion, the best software for blogging versus something else?
Did they say what the other something else is?
No.
Okay. Number one is you control it. You don't control Blogger. Blogger is a disaster. Google controls Blogger, and Google already doesn't like MLM or network marketing, as you can see by companies getting smacked. As a matter of fact, one of the ways I kind of woke up is, I've got Google AdSense on MLMblog.net because that's a different type of a blog. It's transformed into a different type of blog, almost news and things of that nature. And I've got other writers that contribute, and so there's Google AdWords on, or AdSense, I should say. And the category that MLM falls into is MLM and I think get-rich-quick schemes. And this is how Google categorizes our $100 billion legal industry. And it drives me nuts. But I'm not, I don't know anyone at Google at this point. I mean, I might be able to find some people, but believe me, I'm not flying down to Google to change their mind. But so my point is, it's like we're in the situation where we've got to be in control of what we do. WordPress self-hosted is really the very best way to control and not have anyone else be able to come down and get rid of our blog. I mean, I know a lot of people that have lost even WordPress.com blogs. They don't want anything related to network marketing. I mean, it's gone just like that. So the other piece of the puzzle, it's probably the most supported platform as well. And I've used TypePad, I've used Movable Type, I've used Blogger, I've used other things out there. It is just by far the best. Now here's where the rubber meets the road. Look, go to Technorati or find a list of the top 100 blogs in the world, traffic-wise. Count how many of them are WordPress blogs, and it's I guarantee it's over 75%, and that's enough for me, right? So I mean, it is certainly the Cadillac or Mercedes-Benz of blogging platforms, and there's so many plugins, and people are developing more stuff for it on a regular basis, and it's easiest probably to use to make it look look different enough that even though you might use the same theme or as someone else, it still looks different enough when people go there. So it's just by far the very best platform for a number of different reasons, if that makes sense.
It does, and I'd like to, you know, just kind of throw my hat in the ring on that one, Ty, not to steal any thunder here, but you can get a free theme, you can get free plugins. I mean, it's virtually, you can do a WordPress blog virtually for free to get started.
Yep, that's right.
So, I mean, if nothing else, it's got that. Okay. And that's
and nobody can take it away from you. That's the biggest thing.
Right, right. Okay, we have a question. Kirk is asking, and I hadn't thought of this before, and I think it's a great question, is if he doesn't have his own branded product to give away for opt-ins, what would you suggest that he gives away in order to build a list without offering the same thing that 4,000 people across the internet are offering?
It's a very good question, and I would say if it kind of depends on the niche of their blog, really. I don't think 4,000 people are out offering MLM blog secrets right now or blogging for prospects. That's probably a good one to start with, right? But I mean, here's the thing: make one, make something. I mean, like in MLM blog code, I give you Ann's Rolodex and my Rolodex when it comes to graphics. So, I mean, you know, you sit down and how long would it take for one of those graphic designers, and probably you're looking in the neighborhood of 50 to 75 bucks to create an ebook cover and maybe a banner or maybe a couple other things, depends on which one you use, to create something, you know. I mean, here, look at MLM Web Secrets. I mean, this is something I just flat out made up, although there are 7 files that I've really compiled over 7 years that have helped me build a multi-million-dollar business. And so it's the truth. I just never had, until probably earlier this year, I'd never compiled it into a series of emails, and that's all I did there. So, you know, it's not hard to create your own thing. Until you've got your own thing, use someone else's that makes the most sense for your niche. If you've got a blog and you're talking about blogging and building your business online, and maybe blogging for prospects is a great one that's new enough that not everyone has seen it. And by the way, the team at the Renegade System created some incredible banners for MLM blog secrets and blogging for prospects. You know, as a matter of fact, let me do this real quick. I'll go to MLM blog and show you a couple banners and show you how they are in use. Okay, so right here is one of the banners. I've got another banner here, which is great, and another one here. I mean, these are this is great advertising, and someone clicks on there, boom, they're in. This happens to be the same opt-in. By the way, I'm telling you, this kind of thing is very, very effective. So hopefully that makes sense there. But yeah, I mean, find something you're interested in, find something you support, find something that you find value in. One thing you don't want to do is send someone somewhere and then have them go, that kind of sucked. I don't think that's going to happen with MLM blog code or blogging for prospects and MLM blog secrets. It's a good quality product that you can stand behind. I mean, goodness gracious, how about the 3+ hours of videos at blogging for prospects? Just that content alone is worth a lot of money, and give it away in exchange for a email address. That's a good deal. But then you've got the email address, and you know what to do then. It's begin to communicate with those people.
Okay, well, we have a question, excuse me, from Geraldine, and she'd like to know, if you have different interests on the same blog and you've managed to integrate them, is it okay to have more than one opt-in box throughout your blog to capture different leads, or is it better just to focus on the main objective and opt-in for one product?
I would, well, that's a good question. I think it kind of depends on, if it's all around the same niche, then I think you could have multiple opt-ins and multiple banners. Obviously, you know, you look at MLM blog .net, and there's different banners for, you know, maybe one person is going to click, sorry, maybe one person is going to click here, maybe one person wants to opt in here, they just don't know that it's essentially going, you know, slightly different funnel, but I'm collecting all of that information, you know, here or here. You know, one thing that's important is to keep those fresh. I rotate these banners on a fairly regular basis because I think that if a regular reader goes to the site, they would tend to shut off that area of your site if it's the same thing over and over again. If it changes on a regular basis, then you have a better chance of getting them to opt in, getting them to pay attention to it. So, thank you for that pregnant pause, Candace. So to answer the question, I guess, he's like, yeah, that's good, Ty, but you didn't really answer the question. And I'm like, okay, the ADD has kicked in, but I'm going to do my best. So my answer is, if it's within the same niche, if you're blogging about network marketing and internet marketing and health and wellness, then, you know, I mean, here's the thing. You can put an individual opt-in into an individual post at the bottom, right? Hopefully you know that. You could take this, I could take this and put it into this, you know, like at the bottom of this post if I wanted to. So if you had a couple different ones, like if this happened to be about health and wellness, and I had a particular, you know, pick up a free sample of this weight loss product as one of my opt-ins, probably a great place to put that, right? If that makes sense. So the answer is, as long as it's within the same niche, I think it's okay. But I think you have to be careful not to confuse your reader by having opt into this, and opt into this, you know, like right one after another. I think that would be very confusing and probably not the right way to go. You know, opt into my internet marketing secrets, opt into my free health product, and opt into, you know, blogging for prospects. Probably a little bit confusing if it was the same style of thing, but maybe, you know, this kind of a form and then maybe a banner or something like that is probably all right if that makes sense. Yes, Candace, I think we've hit an hour. I've actually gone over by a couple of minutes, and I want to be sure to get Ann on, but I'm glad we got the chance to answer those additional questions. I'm sure there's more, but I want to bring up a good friend of mine and someone who, again, you know, from a relationship perspective, someone who I talked to and then began to even promote her stuff more because I knew where her heart was. I knew that this was someone who has a tremendous heart for the people who she comes into contact with on a regular basis. She wants to see you win. And so I'm honored to be a small part of this bigger picture that Ann Sieg has in mind for the education of people in the network marketing industry. And without further ado, Ann, are you there?
I am here. Thank you, Ty. Yeah, all right, why don't we switch back to my screen here, and I have to say, Candace, it's been fascinating to watch the question and answer panel. I do want to just back up what Ty just mentioned there. Has it switched back to my screen or no?
Not yet.
Okay, alrighty, I'll wait till we get switched back, and I will try to answer some of the questions that were more directed to the, I think that I can answer, and Candace, she's my full-time customer manager, in terms of some of you are inquiring about the affiliate side of things. I don't want to go much into that because really the intent and purpose of this call was, as Ty is exactly saying, we wanted to provide more value. It is not uncommon for people on our team to put in 68-hour work weeks and for people to be answering tickets until midnight. So it's been interesting watching the dialogue there in the panel. But truly, it is an enormous amount of work that goes into providing this product. And so, and the training, and that Ty took time out of his evening. His wife and daughter just arrived back from Europe, as he stated, and yet he is spending this evening uniquely with us to share his knowledge. So I want to just move forward and provide some additional information for you about where to get help. Number one is to review your videos. Now, I'll just say, I'm a baby boomer, I'm a female, and I am the type that I don't do really well with directions. Okay, got my hand raised. And I've read about this. And as much as we may not like to do it, it really does come down to going through and following those directions. And I can say I could likely be one of the most impatient people on the planet, and yet it just does come down to those kind of basics of watching and reviewing when it's something important enough to you. And if you can look at your blog as literally your physical house that you reside in right now. If you are in a home, some of you may be renting. That would be akin to using Facebook or Twitter. But if you are actually in a home, maybe you haven't paid it all outright yet and you're making your house payments, your mortgage payments, that's what your blog is to you. And so it's well worth your time to go through these trainings 2, 3, 4 times if need be. I'm that kind of person. I generally don't get it the first sweep through. I don't. All right? So that's just the human factor. So be sure to review them, and it'll start to become second nature. And I can assure you, it's this will strengthen your character, your resolve, everything that's involved in growing and developing a business. That patience factor, that to me is the number 1 attribute for business success. Number 2 is there is more advanced training and help. And so to check out MLM Blog Code. Now, I did read some of the comments. I was very in tune to the comments coming in. And there are 2 products, just to explain. There is one that is like the fundamentals. And for $47, of which it was during the launch week, that was literally a steal. Because the cost of it, well, I won't even go on into it. Just when you start creating a business, you'll understand a little more in terms of the cost of production. But nonetheless, that is your foundation. It's like mixing the cement and pouring it. MLM Blog Code is taking it to another level. That's simply how we structured it. 2 products. That's how it works. Number 3, if you have product delivery questions, which we have seen, people are wondering about the downloading, the different functionalities Candace talked about on Monday, where you can actually download it onto your iPod. We have that in MLM Blog Secrets. We are working on it for MLM Blog Code.
Actually, I have an announcement for that, and we did get that completed and up to date, so MLM Blog Code is now downloadable as well.
There you go. That's the 80/20 team for you. And then here we have an email address, support@therenegadesystem.com. Now, a little note here, if you don't receive a reply in 48 hours, check your spam folder or email. Here's the address. Go ahead and jot it down, literally. Go ahead, grab your pen and paper. I hope you've been taking notes during the call. Jot that down. It's another way to access our support desk. And I will tell you, they're answered very frequently, and it's been a lot of people, they'll come to me on Facebook and this type of thing. It's, for some reason, for some folks, it's ending up in their spam folder. So, and there are instructions on that of, which Candace would be a better of assistance there, but so that it doesn't go into your spam folder. They are being answered, I can assure you, the tickets, because I go into Kayako myself as well, our support desk. Alrighty. I didn't have prepared slides relative to the affiliate programs. I'll just touch on that briefly. This is not an affiliate training, but it did pop up a few times in the question and answer panel. We actually have also a full-time affiliate manager dedicated to serving our customers and affiliates. And he will be providing more training on this. We are going to be we're doing a very significant redesign of the entire Renegade system, which is out in a few weeks. But MLM Blog Secrets and MLM Blog Code, currently, you must be an affiliate of the Renegade system, and that is by virtue of purchasing the Renegade Network Marketer. Now, are we going to tell you you have to do that? And these people, what are they doing to me? That's how it is currently, because it's enormously complex, and we can't just switch the coding overnight. but we are moving in that direction that you will be able to promote it without having purchased the Renegade Network Marketer. I would have obviously recommend you to purchase the book because it is a philosophical business primer is what it is. It's a foundational business primer if you are to learn attraction marketing. That is obviously, of course, entirely up to your discretion, but it will strengthen your business resolve and understanding and comprehension of having a blog. All right.
And Ann, can I interrupt there and just say that book was paramount to me understanding the overall philosophy that has helped me build a multi-million-dollar business in network marketing, because there's some fundamentals in there that are the basics of marketing online. The blog is your home base. I mean, I don't know what the best way to describe this, but this would be your overall roadmap. And if you haven't picked it up, I mean, goodness gracious, it is so worth it. And so just a little. I'm not trying to sell it, but I'm just telling you that it is certainly worth it. And to have the opportunity to sell that online in addition to MLM Blog Code and MLM Blog Secrets would certainly be worth the investment as well too.
It's basically a business manual to really get a better understanding. Okay, we are also, all of these were ideas we had to provide more value. So if you appreciate this kind of value, we also did make a decision to go the extra mile as well with our MLM Blog Code students. And so we are having yet another question and answer webinar coming up on Monday, July 12th. We're going to take a breather here. We're coming into the 4th of July weekend. We actually have some staff folks on vacation as well coming up next week. So we thought to do this the following week, Monday, July 12th. And just like for the MLM Blog Secrets webinar, the one that we're conducting tonight, you're able to access the registration link through your thank you / content delivery page. So when you purchase the product, you were shown a page that was, saying thank you for your purchase, and then we gave you all the links to download the material and all that type of thing. We loaded up those registration links on your thank you pages, so that's where you can find it. The reason we have it set up that way is it's confidential. It's only for those customers. It's not out on the web. And then likewise, just like with tonight's call, you can submit your questions in advance through the registration page. Looks like this. This is actually taken off of the registration for this one. But Scott Rogers, my affiliate manager, he did go ahead and set it up for MLM Blog Code, our Q&A webinar. Again, that'll be on Monday. So that's about a week and a half. We wanted to also, the reason for the gap there was to give you some time for processing. There's a lot to be said for that. I need that. I have to process things. Things can get really intense, and I think our brains need a little time to defrag, assimilate. It's a lot of information to take in, and we need a little bit of reflecting, thinking about things, all that type of thing. So that's why we spread it out a little bit there. It was just to give you a little more time. Now, I'm going to show you something also. Oh, I'm sorry, here's this page. If you haven't purchased MLM Blog Code, where Ty talks about see if I can get it right, human emotion optimization. Is that what you talked about, Ty, on Monday?
Right, SEO versus human emotion optimization, HEO. Yes. And can I also say one thing while you're on the subject of ordering MLM Blog Code? For that webinar, and this is again only for the MLM Blog Code students, okay? I've got a new technique, a new training piece that actually has come to fruition after MLM Blog Code was in the can that I'm going to be sharing on that call. So the only way to get it at this point is to make sure that you've already picked up MLM Blog Code and then be on that quick Q&A webinar. I'm going to be sharing something brand new that I did not even share in MLM Blog Code. So.
And I just want to reflect off of what Ty just said there. This is how it is when your head is engaged in the game. You're constantly learning. So it shouldn't be shocking or surprising that now he's found another new technique. This is the online world. It is moving that rapidly. I'm constantly in training mode, learning and applying new techniques. So I don't know what it is, what Ty's going to be sharing. So I'm going to be there listening as well. This may look confusing where it says secrets. This is actually the code order page. And I just want to mention, I did see some questions on the panel where people were wondering, how do I get to it? Why wasn't I shown that? And it was through, initially when you purchased secrets, you had the option to purchase code. It was optional. And then there was yet one more product, which I'm going to touch on in a moment, called Renegade Protege Pack. Now, if you purchase through PayPal, there simply isn't that coding capability that you're then shown these other products, although my webmaster did post it on the thank you page. We did make a modification in lieu of that challenge, and then there were a lot of people who were kind of upset. They couldn't get to code, and so we then made that as a separate order page for all our PayPal people who they were told by someone, hey, don't forget to get code, and then they didn't see it. That's because of PayPal, but we have since rectified that particular problem. Plus, we reached out, we got back to the people who had wanted to purchase it in the first place. So we're constantly working to optimize things. You know, you get the product out there, and then we keep a sharp eye for continual optimization. So with regard to that webinar, I hope to see you there, Ty and I both, on Monday, June 12th. We will see you Monday, July 12th at 8 o'clock for all the MLM blog code students. I want to thank everyone for being here. I want to thank Justin and Blaine also for recording this call, and also to Candace. That's a lot of multitasking, to be reading through those Q&As and then paying attention to Ty and putting out the questions. So a huge thank you to Candace as well, and for her answering all the emails that come in through our support desk. Also thank you to you, Ty, for again taking time out of your evening when I'm sure you just can't wait to go be with your wife and daughter after them being gone on the trip. And I'm so glad you did the dishes. Because Ty, I got to tell you, yeah, with my kids, they know if the dishes aren't done, Mama ain't happy. Anyway, so it's true. Everybody have a wonderful, safe 4th of July. Enjoy your time with your family and your loved ones. Enjoy your liberties that you have. If you are a citizen of the United States and wherever else you may be, each day is a precious gift. And so thank you all for being here. I hope you all have an excellent evening, and we'll see some of you on Monday, July 12th. Thanks, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Bye. Good night, Candace. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much.